Radio Free Tatooine presents Galactic War Report, a Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes podcast.
Boshuda, fellow Holotable hustlers, you're tuned into Galactic War Report, a Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes podcast that's better than some and worse than others. I'm Sean, a.k.a. The Other Sean, and sitting across the holotable from me is Josh, a.k.a. The Golden Pop-Tart.
I mean, today we get straight from work, Josh. I mean, still...
Oh, this is a classy Josh.
I mean, right? I look like I could probably sell you a loan right now.
I have pajama pants on, I have a pitted out t-shirt, and Josh shows up almost in a full suit. Like, this is the relationship that we have here.
There you go.
At
Yes.
Radio Free Tatooine.
I just wanted to, I was going to classy it up tonight, I guess. I mean, but truly it was about 2 degrees outside with a speckle of rain and a little bit of track. So this is tonight.
Perfect storm. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, welcome aboard, everybody. We've got an interesting show tonight. There's no new character. There's no big, massive news, right? There's just some kind of fun, kind of silly stuff to talk about. We're going to talk about territory battles. Oops. We're going to talk about some cool promotions that are coming up. CG is giving some stuff away. You know, we all squeaked and we said, we don't like this Galactic Challenge Omicron. And they're like, hey, what if we give you some crystals? So we'll talk about how you can participate in that and possibly win something. And also 3v3 Grand Arena is a wrap. We're done. We finished it. How did we do? We'll talk about that as well later in the show. But first, as always, let's celebrate some Blurf Days. This week we've only got a couple little parties. It's a banger though. We got 1-2 on the 23rd. Yeah. Cara Dune turning 4 years old.
It's
4
years.
Years of her.
I mean, it's just crazy to think about.
Coming back with that potency up.
I know.
And she returns and just won't stay down.
I mean, it's just always there. And I do love the fact that, she can do like a full stun of Empire, though. Yeah. I mean, I can't remember the last time I used her on offense.
It's a funky little kit. It's that constant revive is like, we've all seen it. It's beatable. Mm-hmm. Like Wampa eventually is going to take her out or whoever you're using, but it's a silly little kit. On the 24th, the very next day. Well, there's only 4 listed, but really there's 5 because that's the Rancor's birthday.
Ooh.
It's 2016. So that's 8 years ago. We got our first raid in Galaxy of Heroes. So in line with that, Han Solo was the reward. So that is his birthday as well. And then Gamorrean Guard, Jawa Engineer, and Sunfac all got added to the brand new Guild Currency store.
Ooh.
And they were exclusives. The only way to get them was in that store. And they were exciting. I remember back then I went after Jawa Engineer. John went after Gamorrean Guard. I got the useful one. He got
there you go.
Gamorrean Guard. Let's derail this, as we often do in the very first segment. I saw a post on Reddit within the last couple days, maybe today. I've seen actually a couple in the last couple days on the same theme, essentially saying, like, lore-wise, what are the biggest mistakes in this game? Like, what characters don't match what their lore should be or whatever. And one that I've thought of in the past a little bit, but having read someone else say it, really it just kind of this time it's really sticking in my mind, is that on the Jabba team, Kersantin should not be there.
Yeah.
That should be Gamorrean Guard doing that. Just take him out. That's Gamorrean Guard. Can't rip someone's arms off. Okay, whatever. But that is what he should be doing.
Yeah.
And that's sad. Because it really makes me think, if he's not on the Jabba team, he's never getting used. There's no other team where he slots in. That's it for Gammy.
I mean, maybe at some point we get another one where it's going to be shirtless, wrestler Game Guard. And
a Gamorrean faction. There was a Gamorrean pilot in the called Piggy in the book series. Was it just the X-Wing book series? I think.
Well, yeah.
Whatever.
I mean, I don't know that one. I mean, that's pretty good Star Wars knowledge if you remember the name of the Gamorrean Guard pilot from
Piggy.
a book. That's pretty good.
He was a rebel X-Wing pilot. Oh man. So
he's a good guy too?
Yeah,
wow.
he's part of Rogue Squadron. It was the Rogue Squadron series. Yeah.
Well.
Those were the days. And Sunfac, I mean, he was annoying when he came out. Like, he dispels on a basic? Seriously? Back then, it didn't take much to blow our minds, We didn't have kits like Revan and beyond. All right, let's take a look at this week's upcoming in-game events. Brought to you by swgohevents.com for a complete list of past, present, and future events. swgohevents.com is a universe of info in a galaxy of heroes. This week sees several events popping up, and one of them's a pretty big one for this guy. On the 19th, yeah, that's right. I'm talking about training droid smuggling.
There you go, right?
Finally, the drought is over. They didn't put training droids on that survey this out recently.
Didn't. I mean, you could have write it in, though.
I guess so.
English. You could wrote it in.
It could have had wrote
it in there.
We got tenses.
There you go.
What else on the 19th? We have Geonosis Galactic Challenge. You're going to have bonuses for Old Republic, and you're going to be fighting against scoundrels. That's cool. Omicrons are good. We like them.
Always.
On the 20th, we've got an assault battle, ground war, easy peasy.
Yep.
We also have Dark Sovereign. That is the Fleet Mastery event for Leviathan. Now, here's the deal. I am at 10 out of 100.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to get to do this once. That'll put me at 20 out of 100. So I would need to refresh it 8 times. That would be 8,000 crystals. It sounds like a lot, but hear me out. If I do that, I'm done with Leviathan, and I'm considering it. I've done a couple refreshes like this that were really stupid. I've got almost 6,000 right now. So, if you think I remember what crystals cost, you are out of your mind. Let me see. Tap for price. Get out of here. I don't want to tap for price.
I know, right? I mean, that's the thing about.
I think it's like $20. Something like that. I broke it. I broke the game. If it doesn't work by the time this podcast comes out, it was me. I clicked on a
it's all you.
crystal pack in game and I crashed the whole server. Yeah. I don't know. I might. We'll see. I could save some, but
it's smart. I mean, in your neck of the woods, you need it. I mean, I just think I get to the certain point where I hit a number of crystals that I never want to go below. The other day I was just sitting there and I'm like, man, what is wrong with me that I legitimately think about that stuff? I'll be at work. I'm like, all right, what's my bare bottom amount of crystals I would go down? And I'm like, I mean, and it's funny because it used to be back in the old days, it was 1,000. 1,000 can't do the 1,000 anymore. like if I get close to 1,000, I'm panicking kind of.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. We're different people.
Yeah. That's funny.
I literally went down to 1 crystal the other day.
Oh my gosh.
The other day,
How did
obviously,
you survive?
I've got 6,000, so I obviously that wasn't just a couple days ago, but
yeah,
not that long ago. Within the last 2 or 3 weeks, I don't know, man. It was like Grand Arena finally came in and did a payout for me, and then I got my 7 o'clock payout, and like it worked out. But yeah, I went. I run on empty.
You run on deep. See, I'm at 7,500 right now.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, all right, I need to get some signal data. And I've been really looking at it, and I'm going, all right, what's the lowest I have to go? What's the lowest I can go? And I don't know.
It doesn't. I mean, the thing is, my outlook is pretty much always, it doesn't do me any good. I'm not going to beat an opponent because I have crystals. But if I spend those crystals on upgrading characters, now we're cooking with gas.
I mean, I'm going to, the next time I do it, I'm going to have like, Devil Sean, and then like, and then be like,
your wife on one shoulder and Devil Sean.
Go, right? I mean, Devil Sean's going to be like, you don't win if you don't spend. And then,
you could spend those crystals.
And you might lose even easier.
No, I will say, all right, but this is me. Here's my stupid thing. That I'm not saying that's stupid. That's actually smart what you're doing. But here's my saving thing that is stupid. Is every shipment, I don't go below, or I almost never go below 10,000 of a currency. I always have 10,000 Cantina currency and Galactic War currency, Squad Arena currency. Why? I don't know.
Just, yeah.
I started doing it a long time ago when it almost made sense to like have some backup for that in case they added a new character or something, but they don't do that anymore, except they did that with that one Night Sister. And so it sparks my little conspiracy brain to be like, whoa, I need to be hoarding my Galactic, because what if they just put Gungan Phalanx on there or something? They're not going to. I know they're not going to.
Yeah.
But still, I'm weird.
What's your amount for? We're going way off. We're still in events, I promise.
It's fine. It's a weird show. Like,
yeah, I guess so.
It's a weird week for a show that is normally weird. So yeah.
What's the minimum amount of gear that you will keep? Like, so when I look at like I always have set limits that I can actually go below. Oh
no, I don't have a limit. Nope.
Oh, so like for your scrapping stuff, like you'll go down to 0?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
You are a maniac. Yeah. How in the world do you do this?
If I want it, I get it.
Wow. So that's where I've always wondered, like, you get a lot more signal, not signal data, but like scrap than I do. And I think because I don't like to go below 500.
Yeah, no, okay. So I will say, like, when you're actually scrapping stuff to the salvager, I will, generally, if it's not one, I mean, like some like the bronzium wiring, just pick something, give them half of what you have, and you're set for a month. That's a bit of an overstatement, but it's basically that. But for those other ones, I try to look at what I have the most of, and like I'll give them half of this, and it barely moves the needle. But then I move to the next piece. I'll give you half of that, and so like it does dip pretty low. Some of those like blue gear things that like I get a little low on them, but like I find that I am almost never roadblocked by those things. It's all the things that roadblock are obviously like the Cairo tech. Occasionally one of those purple ones will sneak up on you. Like, I'm out of Carbanti again. Like, at the point I'm at in the game, I know earlier in the game that is an actual crunch, or it used to be. I think it still is. But then the other thing that will get you, besides the occasional purple Cairo techs and any Gear 12 stuff, can get you. And then those stupid little green things that you get a brand new character and you get stuck on gear 3 and you're like, huh? Oh, I need one green eyeball or data pad or something silly like that.
The data pads for me. That's what I was just looking. It's like there's the data pads that show up and it's just like there's always. I mean, it's not a big deal. I mean, you can get
in an hour
easily,
you're gonna have enough energy to get 16 of them or something.
I mean, it's one of those things where I wish I could drop it down a little bit. So that's why also too, like with the guild, the new guild currency, I'll go through and all right, you're below 500. I'll automatically give it more from there too. But
yep. All right, on the 21st. Longest segment ever.
Yes. Yeah, there you go.
Who cares? The 21st, we've got Galactic Bounties 1, as well as Territory War Sign Up, where I will be flexing my new Omicron. Admiral Trench. I did it. I don't know. We'll see.
I wonder how many people are applauding right now.
One spider is applauding with the 6 arms he's not standing on right now. I don't know. I'm trying to do like a spider joke and it's late.
It's late.
What else we've got on the 22nd? We have an Omega battle on Endor and another Galactic Challenge. We don't know where yet. And also Grand Arena is back. 5v5. Here we go. I'm ready for some 5v5 action. That's my home.
So we get 1 week off. Is that right?
I guess so. Yeah.
Man,
I don't remember how these schedules work. I just read them every week. Yeah, we're back. Honestly, I'm pretty excited about it. I feel like every time we go from 3v3 to 5, it's like a breath of fresh air because it's fewer battles, a little more wiggle room to mess up. Also, you've made some upgrades to some of your characters that are going to be like you haven't really had a good chance to try them out in 5v5, like these new Ray Datacrons and that kind of stuff. Like, all right, well let's play with that and see what that looks like. And some of it's going to be a massive pain in the butt, especially
Ray's
that first week.
A pain in the butt. Yeah.
First week is always brutal, but that's the game. Then on the 23rd, we have a fleet mastery for Radis and Admiral's Maneuver. And 24th brings us Ghosts of Dathomir, and the 25th, another Territory War sign up, number 322. So not a bad week. We'll just see what I do when Dark Sovereign comes around. I'm going to refresh it. I don't know if I'll do that many refreshes. That's just oof.
I don't know. I mean,
that's a real big
Devil Sean
ask.
is already telling you right now to do it. So.
I got 2 devils on my shoulders. All right. Before we dive into this week's top stories, let's take a quick moment to give a shout out to our fantastic Patreon supporters. If you enjoy what we do and want to be part of our exclusive community, head over to patreon.com/Galactic War Report. Your support makes this podcast possible, and you even get access to the VIP section of our Discord server for some behind-the-scenes banter. Now then, punch it, Pop-Tart.
All right, so let's start off with the survey, because like you said earlier, I mean, the last survey led to those Galactic Challenge Omicron, so I mean...
God, what are we getting out of this? No.
I mean, what are we going to get this time?
We should have answered exactly the opposite of how we feel.
I know. But I will say that I really like, I hope in some ways, like the question on, what do you value? Oh, man, there was so much that I wrote in. Because it's just
really?
Just because, I mean, like we were saying earlier, I mean, getting those scrap materials is such a pain. And then right now, basically, all I'm doing for all of the game is basically farming signal data. I mean, so there's nothing else I can do. It's that. So, I mean, when you get to 35 and I actually need 183 more of the third to finish up everything, I'm like, that's ouch.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, I think that makes sense. So on the like 1 to 4 scale, do you remember what ones you said out of the ones that they list? Which ones you felt were more valuable to you?
Omicrons were
for
top,
sure.
right? So that was top. I think that was the main one that I had there. Obviously, crystals are great. I feel like right now the crystal economy is. I feel
better than it's ever been.
Think. Right. And I feel like even if I use some, I'm going to get some back. And
I said, I rode the line with one crystal, and here I am with 6,000. So,
well, I think that would be a good song. I rode the line.
Yeah,
with this crystal.
So. I think so. There's some sci-fi western kind of vibes there.
Yeah, maybe something by Rush. I don't know. So, what about for you? What was some of the things that you had in there? If you want to speak
pretty
publicly.
Similar. Yeah. It was, Omicrons, obviously. And they know that. That's intentional. Mm-hmm. Those are supposed to be the thing that we're chasing the most, I think. But I also said Cantina Energy.
Yeah.
Because that leads to all the signal data. So they didn't put signal data in there, but like double my energy, I'm going to get the data. So I think that was up there. I might have said Datacrons as well, especially because I'm in a spot where I'm still sore from the last conquest where I didn't get that many Datacrons. Yeah. And that was kind of rough. So hopefully this time I have more opportunity to spend farming them. I think for me, one of the things, and I haven't seen anyone else whine about this, so I'll do it, is that in this conquest, the node that you farm Datacrons on is not the easy one to get the feats done on. Mm-hmm. So I find myself beating up those bounty hunters and getting just a little bit of like Datacron upgrade materials, but not actually getting Datacrons. So until your feats are all done, it's kind of, and that's what I ran into last time. It was like my last couple days. I was like, okay, now I can actually farm Datacrons. But before that, I wasn't running into enough of them. So
yeah, I get it.
But I agree. I think anything signal data, relic related, the salvage stuff is, what is it? I forget the first one.
Yeah, the first one's
carbonite
horrible.
Circuit boards. Yeah, mm-hmm. Those I wrote that in because we were on a call together when I filled it out and you had mentioned it. And I'm like, ooh, that's a good call. Yeah.
That I feel like I know you can just buy crystals, use crystals, and I really do. Every single time I need them, I do.
Yep.
It's just, if I wanted to and actually try, like you could get 1,000 and you're just going to get nothing. All they have to do is kind of bump up that conversion ratio a little bit. That's really, it's funny because, Zinbiddles were one a while back were kind of a tough thing for me. Yeah. But now with this new currency for guilds, I get them every single time, right? Yep. So I'm
fine on them. Even so the impulse detectors, they're not. I'm at the point also where I've got all the Galactic Legends. If you have a bunch of people that you have to take to Relicate, maybe that's a little different. I grant that, but where I'm at right now, they're fine.
Yeah.
So,
but so if you get a chance, go out and do that survey.
Yeah, it's on
who knows?
On the forums.
Yep.
It started April 15th, and I think as this podcast launches, it's maybe just wrapping. So go do it today.
Oh. Yeah.
Because it's a weekly thing. I don't know if it wraps on Friday.
Yeah. So, we'll see what comes out of it. Who knows? But yeah, another fun little thing too. We got a chance to do some territory battles on the old school things for a moment.
Goodness, back to Geonosis,
right?
That was nuts.
Man, it was interesting because I was getting a little bit nervous because I was going throughout the whole day trying to get into it. I'm like, I'm going to get yelled at. I need to do my stuff, man. And then I finally, like, I'm like, oh man, it said something to the, in our chat, about like, man, it's not working well today. And 2 seconds later, there's like all these links right to saying it's not working. Yeah. I'm like, oh, interesting.
So I just looked it up and it doesn't say what the week is. So I wouldn't be surprised if it includes Saturday and Sunday, but if not, go to the forums, do the survey. Now, they're going to pick 5 winners, and there's like pages and pages and pages of entries. So just know that your odds are like, it's like you're buying one of those 330 shard gamble packs, but it's for free though.
That's also for the survey? I thought that was for the other thing that we were going to talk about today.
No, I'm saying like your odds of winning this survey are basically like buying a gamble pack. Like your odds of getting, although they are also winners of this are also getting 330 character shards for Jedi Knight Anakin and Darth Vader. So that's neat. And you were going to say the other promo that they're running related to that.
Yes. I mean, those are the crystal and the shard giveaway pieces to it. So kind of interesting. I mean, it really does. Like you said, earlier, I can't remember if it was in the DOS chat or, on here. So sorry. Basically we get Galactic Challenge Omicrons. We get chances for 330 shards. And, it says times 24 chest of crystals. Please decipher.
Yep. You know what? I didn't understand the wording at first either. It's they're picking 5 winners each week, which is going to be 25 winners. So 24 of those winners will get a chest of crystals, and then one of those winners will get a crate of crystals. That's the big, suddenly you're a in-game millionaire thing. What is that? That's the $100 thing. Is the crate, right?
Was that 15,000?
I don't think we've ever bought one of those. Or maybe we have.
Maybe we have. I mean, I've done.
My lips are sealed. Yeah, that's 7,000 crystals. 7,370. But they always you can get bonus stuff.
Yeah, and I mean,
jeez.
Yeah, but I mean, hey, if it's a chance, and kind of the fun one this time around, though, we get to put a quote out there.
Yeah, instead of dumping a bunch of crystals for a chance to win something, you just get to say one of your favorite Star Wars quotes.
So we had to take this moment. I mean, there's just so many of them, but what are some of your just general favorite quotes in Star Wars?
Every time I'm asked this, my brain just sizzles. It's just like, psh. Not sizzles, fizzles, maybe. I don't know. It doesn't work. But I filled this out, and the quote that I put in is really, it's just the wrap up to the whole interchange, but boring conversation anyways. When Han's over the intercom interacting with people on the Death Star, and just boring conversation anyways after he shoots it. I love it. But another one that just popped into my brain, that this is honestly, I think, another one of my favorite ones that we didn't discuss earlier, is when Anakin and Grievous meet for the first time.
Oh, yes.
And he says, General Skywalker, you're younger than I expected. And he goes, General Grievous, who is huge. He's like, you're shorter than I expected. I love that.
It's so good. It's so good.
And it's so easy to rip on, Anakin dialogue, or prequel dialogue specifically, usually Anakin and Padme together. Their dialogue, sure. But there are some zingers in the prequels, and I think that is absolutely one of them. I love it. Yeah. What about you? What did you do for your entry?
So I actually did the ability to speak doesn't make you intelligent.
Oh, sure. Drop a little Qui-Gon knowledge bomb.
And I've thought that with people before. It sounds bad to say that.
Look at us.
I know, right? There you go. But But then I was thinking, man, I there's just been so many good ones. But another one I really like is Sorry Lady, I Don't Understand Frog.
Yes.
I mean, I just remember chuckling really good on that one. I mean, and so, but I would say the one that I love the most, is when in episode 3, Anakin lands this ship and there's Obi-Wan fixing his hair saying another happy landing. I mean, just, I just, that one to me, it makes me laugh. And I don't know. And also too in that scene, I mean, Palpatine is holding on to that chair like he was just dying. I mean, but man,
it's funny. This is another derailing, but I don't care. It's our podcast. We do what we want.
Here you go, right?
Now, I'm curious, like, what are your most day-to-day used Star Wars quotes?
Ooh,
like for any situations. And the reason this popped in my brain is, I mean, there's a lot of them. Like, I mean, my daughter and I have a thing. Like when we walk into the room, hello there. Mm-hmm. We do that a lot. We also, when my wife and I can hear the kids upstairs or in another room or wherever, and they're being really loud. And it sounds like they're having fun, but they're really loud. We always look at each other and say, listen to them, R2. They're dying.
Wow. Yeah, I can't say that's not our household. We, if I do a movie quote or a Star Wars quote, I get the look like, okay, thank you.
And that happened.
Yes, and now let's talk back to real life.
They say, sorry, lady, I don't understand frog.
Yeah, right. There you go. Man, I'm that husband that would be like, man, if I really said that, how would that work out?
Yeah.
Everything's fine at home. I'm not getting beat. I promise. Like, everything is fine.
He looks healthy. He's,
there you go, right? I mean, she allows me to podcast, so I mean, it's okay.
Oh, yeah.
But.
All right. So, one other thing there is an Apple gift card deal.
Yes,
the 330 shards are not just for that contest, but if you buy an Apple gift card, let me see, I've got the deets pulled up here. There's a promotion where gift card purchasers can redeem a free in-game Galaxy of Heroes bonus bundle for buying Apple cards from participating locations. In the US, it is Target, starts April 21st, runs through May 18th. If you buy a gift card of $25, you get 330 shards of Anakin and 330 shards of Darth Vader. You get that with any of these. $50 or higher, you get that plus you just get the crystal value. So, like, you get the gift card. You don't even have to spend it in game. You get $25 worth of crystals or $50 worth of crystals and 4 million credits and training droids.
There you go.
But I mean, for new players, imagine that. You've got Jedi Knight Anakin, Darth Vader, a bunch of training droids, which you do need early on, and 4 million credits and $25 worth of crystals. You're set.
Yeah, for sure.
Set. In Canada, let's see, it's at Circle K. Mexico is at OXXO and 7-Eleven. And then Brazil at GCM Games, 03 Games, Nuvum, B2W, Lasa, Banco Inter. A lot of places to get them there.
Yeah, definitely.
Brazil.
There must be a lot of people in Brazil listening now. So hello.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so that's pretty doggone cool. Now, let's move on and talk Conquest.
Yes. We are, I mean, this is the second one now for Queen Amidala. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, usually it feels like things get a little bit better after each round. Yeah. Now, I'm at the edge of a lot of feats. So I'm not as far along as I'd hope to be, but I'm currently at 222. And so
you're like toenails.
There you go, right?
You're at the edge of feats.
What is that? It's half of the Moses Malone number as well. So,
oh, I love it.
But yeah, so I'm at the start of Sector 4, ready to go from there. Feats wise, Gold Path is done. That's easy, right?
Sure.
So Sector 1, every single one of them, I'm just like a 1 or 2 away. So I'm just some moments away from getting a ton on Sector 1, but I probably won't. I'll come back to it after I beat everything. But Sector 2, Evade is almost done, which really works out. And my health steal and the no attackers works because I end up using Jabba and then have a bunch of either bounty hunters or Hut Cartel, and they do all of it. So it's real nice and easy. And
so
basically,
hold on. They do. Oh, you just don't put an attacker in there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you can do Chrysanthemum, Skiff Guard support, I believe.
Oh, I don't actually use him as support. No.
I thought
Typically,
he was. Maybe he's an attacker. I don't know.
I mean, I think with that one, a lot of times it's, Cad Bane does a lot for me, which is kind of weird. I normally, like, he hasn't been good since the raid for me. But it's like when you look at it, I'm like, okay, I didn't realize, that when you're looking at kind of who is or who is an attacker, Greedo is an attacker, right? Something, can't use him. Yeah. But the bounty hunters, you got a few. So Grief Karga, I mean, he's normally in there for me. It really just works, and it really takes a long time for everything to die.
Mob Enforcer's a support.
I know, right? But
but yeah, Cad Bane's a heck of a damage dealer for support, especially a couple Zealous Ambitions on that boy. Whew.
Well, and that's with my distance time. I'm actually not doing. Weirdly, like last time I did 2 different sets and Zealous Ambition was on there. Mm-hmm. I'm not doing it this time. I'm only going, I have it's basically the same strategy as I did before, utilizing the ramping attack, using the heal over time to automatically start that real quick.
Yeah.
And then using Fortify, and of course then, why am I trying to blank on it? The one where Vanguard.
Vanguard, yeah.
So, I mean, my tanks don't die, and then I threw in a really good leader ability on that, and so, I mean, I'm fine. But, I mean, it just means that it's going to take almost the whole time to beat everything if you're doing the no attackers. But I think what's nice, though, is I've been able to evade 94 out of 100 times without even really having to try too much, so it's worked out pretty well.
That's nice.
Yeah, and then in Sector 3, Purge is done. That's easy. Inquisitors, I mean, Reva is wonderful in Conquest. Oh, yeah. It's a great team for it.
I will say, again, with Zealous Ambition,
yeah, that's...
Seventh Sister assists on everything and smacks it down. Eighth Brother is also support.
Yeah.
But between the two of them, it's just lights. I mean, they're already a dynamite team, but it's lights out.
I mean, nothing beats the Cosmic Admission where you basically, all right, the beginning and the Amplify Agony, all of a sudden you start and everyone has 1 health. You know, it's like, this is a cheat team, basically. So,
any of those feats that it was like, win with this idiot surviving. Okay. Sure.
There you go.
Reva's leading. It's one.
But yeah, I mean, I feel pretty good. I know I'm not going to get max crate based on some of the things I'm seeing there. The light side Mandos for me, I'm not there yet, unfortunately. That's like not going to happen. And I mean, there's a good chunk here. I looked at it and I could get pretty close to the end without having to do something crazy, but I'm okay with this. I mean, but how about for you? Where are you at?
I'm doing better than last time. I'm not too far behind you. You're at 222. I'm at 215. Now, keep in mind, you guys, before you judge us, we record this on Wednesday nights.
There you go. Yes.
So, like, we'll be Friday. A little further along. I'm in Sector 3, almost done with it. Feats, they're doing all right. I got of course, the 250 enemies on the gold path. I'm actually doing my Mandalorian stuff early so that I don't get behind like I did last time, because that's one you can't ignore. Those global feats really are the ones you just need to make sure you're pushing things. If you're going for them, you're pushing things forward every day, except for the battle droids, because I haven't gotten to that node just yet. Everything else, I think I'm looking pretty good. So, yeah, Sector 3, feats, pretty good progress. I think you're doing better on feats than me, man. That's impressive. Well done. But, yeah, I should be able to max crate it, I think.
Nice.
My plan is to not have a plan. No, I go in, like, basically, I'm going to skip the Keller and Beck one, I think, just because I skipped it last time and it was fine and I maxed it. So why worry about it? It probably wouldn't be that hard. I've got them at 6 stars maxed besides what you can't do, but
yeah.
So yeah, not bad.
Nice.
Now it is time for us to look one last time at 3v3 Grand Arena Breakdown. So long, farewell, Auf Wiedersehen, get out of here. You're gone, 3v3. But we are here to dissect these last few battles. And if you want a front row seat to the action next time, come check me out. My Twitch stream this time was unlike any other. I just quit. I was having such a bad time. I was so mad. And I'm not like a big name streamer that would throw a fit. That's not shade. I'm not calling anyone out, but I'm just saying the big streamers often if something goes wrong, they're really loud, animated. No, it was not that. It was okay. So I'm not going to win. It was just really sad and awkward. So check that one out.
Yeah, there you go. You have to now just for that play-by-play. So.
God. Anyways, how was your Grand Arena?
Yeah, I want to first start off with definitely the round one was probably the most fun I've had in a while when it comes to Grand Arena, and I really, really enjoy it. But I'm going to murder this person's name, but I let them know I was going to talk about them here on the podcast.
It looks French, and I'm going to say Atwin.
No, there you go.
I don't know. I have no idea.
I mean, but a tune? I don't know, but it definitely was a loss. The nice thing is we were very similar GP. I mean, normally I'm going against some bloat, right? So 12s lately, a lot of 12s.
12s are no joke, man.
So this time around, it was basically level match, and it was really fun. So when I turned it on, they already put a 2051 on me.
Oh my God.
And so I thought, okay, I have to be perfect because they were perfecter, and I'm going to have to, I got to do this. And at first, when I started looking at the defenses, I'm like, I got this, Vader, I can use my Jedi Master Kenobi against it. Gus is no match against Sidious anymore. And then Leia, oh man, I feel bad for Leia with Bane. I mean,
there's always something that just tears her to pieces, isn't there? It was Jabba, now it's Bane.
Right? But it's her Bane, yeah. But
the bane of her existence.
The bane of her existence, yeah. And so then Jabba took out Reva, because why not, right? It actually was really easy. And then Maul took out the Rexes, and then I get to ships, and I see Leviathan, and then you have Executor, and then lastly, I believe it was a Negotiator. And so I'm like, all right, I've never beaten Leviathan before, but I have to, right? So
you got to do it. There's a first time for everything.
Right? Did it. I beat it, and I honestly didn't even need one of the reinforcements. It felt so great. So I'm thinking, there's a chance. I mean, I played really clean. No, didn't take down any battles. I mean, it was a good, clear and the character side of it. And then I get to Negotiator, done. Mirror match, done. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I can do this.
I love this.
Problem was, what I left was First Order, had to go against the Executor. And I've won that more times than I've used Chimera against Leviathan. And so I got all the way down to their last ship in red, and I died, and it was done, right? So that I got down to the last ship in red. That's how close this match was. And I would have actually tied to this person if I would have won. And then I had the higher GP by like 0.1. So like I was going to be like, this is going to be one of the best ones ever. And
that's rough.
But I ended up losing. Like I said, it was the Exactor loss there. And then with everything from it, I ended up being 238 to 251. I mean,
yeah,
but that was fun. And then the nice part was, I mean, obviously we had some communication, and, you know, when you have kind of came down to the wire too, and it sounds like they were watching it as I was doing it to say, oh crap, they could actually do this. So, so that was a lot of fun. So that was round one. And really I was thinking, all right, every time I lose, I'm just worried about getting demoted. It's funny, like at work, if I do something wrong, I never feel like I'm going to get demoted. But every time I play GAC,
and that
I
actually has consequences.
Yeah, I know, right? Like my actions matter.
Right.
So then round two, it was against Orin, and this one was actually really nice. Defense came up big for me, but Starkiller beat Ray again. That felt great. Didn't have the Datacron of any of Holdo or Ray, so yep, he ate. And then weirdly, I don't see Gas very much on defense anymore, and I didn't have much. I'm like, all right, Maul, you gotta beat this, and that actually worked out pretty well. So that worked out. And then they didn't have a Leia on defense, so then I didn't know what to use Bane for. And so guess what? Jedi Master Luke can't beat Bane, so that was great.
Good to know.
And then my Ray stumped him, and you know they didn't have the Datacron for Ray, and I did, and basically means that they couldn't beat it. So it worked out pretty well because I got to ships, and all of that success was used up in that day before because it didn't happen. I lost every single battle, and you know, but still, I ended up at 1710, and they stalled out at 572. So I will take that.
Yeah.
So that means I live another day in Kyber 2, and then moving on to end up going to round 3 just against Scott. So, I mean,
that guy owes me money,
right? Like just Scott, you know, I don't know. So that's pretty, ended up going against there. Kind of fun thing. Malicos on defense really with SLKR is just easy. And I think about what I can do with Malicos right now. Like I used mine with Starkiller and Seer to take down Ray. It didn't matter which Omicron on or Datacron on that. I can usually beat it, and it works out well. So then, but if you put Malicos on defense and all I do is just stun him with SLKR, it's easy. You know, I mean, I worry about using SLKR against Jabba sometimes just because, you know, sometimes it could just be dumb. But
can go wrong. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, no. It's so interesting how that, like, it's funny because like if you just basically control it, and I'm getting to the point now where I know how to control, right? You just poke things and they stop working. Yeah. Right?
You know, hit it with the pointy end.
I know, right? And then really the defense was kind of a weaker defense, except for there was Tuskens, and I was really worried about the Tuskens. And so I'm like, Bane, you took out Jedi Master Luke last time. Can you take out some sand people here? And it worked out relatively pretty easy. It was 2 moves and he just destroyed. So
yeah, it's good.
Yeah. And then on defense, Reva got a hold twice actually and couldn't be beat. So worked out great. Held against a mirror match, and then they actually brought in SLKR against her and just didn't work. So, which was really nice. I usually use insight for a lot of like take a look at things. But the thing that bothers me a lot is when you actually have a high number close to like 95 to 97 and you lose.
Yeah.
And right. And so if you pulled up Gas versus an Iden, like it's pretty dang high. And I was one of the individuals on the next tier of this is going to help you people understand it could lose. So, because that number went down because of that. So, But that was really the only. I did a full clear except for that. So
Aiden is a monster.
Yeah, I mean, just a beast. But ended up being 2024, the year today, to 64. So Riva basically said, "I'm not doing this." They quietly said, "Okay, I'm done," and just walked away, just like Mr. Sean.
Exactly.
All right, so yeah, that was me. I'm still in Kyber 2. I'm 35-30, so not too far off from Kyber 1, which I do not belong. But now, speaking of belonging in Kyber 1, did you?
Oh, you're not talking about me.
No,
some other. Yeah, so I started this round in Kyber 1, which is a scary thing. Never been there, right? So round 1, I go up against Ben Yago, and I had done my attack last week. I figured I would win. I put up 20-26, and they put up a lot of defense, so I figured they didn't have what it would take to get through. I was correct. 20-26 to 14-59. Round 2, I went up against a guy who I can't even say the name. I had to edit it out on my Twitch stream. It's C3 something. Man, getting beat by someone with that kind of name. I know that's the intention, but it hurts a little bit. It hurts a little deeper. I could not beat Dark Trooper Moff Gideon. I tried with Malgus. When that failed, I basically was cooked. I tried with Jedi Knight Luke. No, I'm spitballing ideas here. I had lost at this point. Padme? No. General Grievous? Sidious? I don't have his Kron, but I figured I'd just throw him in there for funsies. And then Maitreya failed to take out Riva. It's been a minute since that happened. That was it. I didn't get a single hold, and it was 1275 to 2065.
Ooh,
2065.
Wow.
They did the full clear. Every single battle was a solo. They won. Oh gosh. They only used one ship, like, I don't know how they did it. 2065. That is nuts. So I got humbled.
Yeah.
Round 3, I go up against Moff Raxel, and this was my worst Twitch stream ever because I just quit. I gave up. I said, you know what? I don't think I even want to do this anymore. And after I went off stream, I ended up doing like 1 or 2 more battles, and I might have beat something, but I just got destroyed. Yeah. And I logged in and looked, when you look at the defense and you're like, oh Lordy, here it comes. I didn't have that. I was like, I feel great about this. We can do this. We could not, it turned out. Jedi Master Luke failed against Qui-Gon. What?
Against Qui-Gon?
Jedi Master Luke failed against
Qui-Gon.
How did that happen? I can tell you it's because I put it on auto. I thought, I've got this. But if you do that, he's going to do his little hand wavy thing. And I got it down to just Cam left. And you need to do the AoE and a basic, because those two do damage. The hand wave doesn't do damage. You need to just do the damage and he'll die. Mm-hmm. And by the time I intervened, it was too late. And I was so mad that Kiadi Mundi beat Jedi Master Luke. But still, to this day, like, I'm not happy to think back on it, but I'm not like tilted anymore. I'm just like, my mind is blown. I don't understand. What?
Was there a Datacron there for it, though? Because he does have a Datacron.
No, there wasn't. I mean, they had like a level 3 Datacron or something. Yeah. Nothing special. Amazing. Okay, so Seer fails against Rey. That can happen. Yeah. It can happen. Whatever. So then Supreme Leader Kylo fails against Starkiller.
Ouch.
What?
2 Galactic Legends loss against non-Galactic Legends. Wow.
Kidding me? Then, speaking of insight and having like a 90% success rate, well, this will be easy. No, Radis failed against Iden. And you know why Radis always works, right? Because the AI is too stupid to target Radis. Iden was smart enough to target him.
I know.
I was like, wow, how? What is happening?
Mm-hmm.
Ugh. Then, I'm not done here.
Oh.
Then General Skywalker failed to take out Tuskens. And that shouldn't happen either. That's crazy pants.
I mean, this is like you rolled the dice and you got a 1 for luck every single time.
I got a handful of ones. Like it was just unbelievably bad luck. Wow. And I even said on my stream, I'm like, I'm not giving any credit to my opponent. This isn't a win for my opponent. This is a loss for me. Yeah. I got screwed. No, I mean, in all honesty, like, great job. There's probably some like mod work that's going on under the hood there that I didn't check. Yeah. And like, I mean, the rational Sean says, great job, Moff Raxel. But in the moment, Sean said, I quit. This is dumb. This is stupid. Stupid game. Dead game.
Dead game.
I did get a couple holds. My Tuskens got a hold against their Aura Singh, and my Lord Vader got a hold against a Darth Bane. So that's something.
Oh, wow. Yeah, it's great.
But final score, they put up 2015. It's not the best score. It's not 2065. Yeah. But, I mean, that's a pretty solid score to me with my 853. Ugh. All right. It's almost an hour that we've been doing this, and we've barely even touched on perhaps the most pressing issue facing players of Galaxy of Heroes today, which is who you grinded.
Man, I'm at the phase right now where it is a slow grind, and it's okay. It's a tough one, right? I mean, I'm kind of stuck on a couple different things, but on my bow side of it, IG-12, I realized could have took him up to, he was gear 11 plus. Look at that. All of those buttons needed to get him to gear 12. Didn't even try. So he's there ready to go for 8 more levels, but we're going to wait on that just yet. But Kelleran ended up 28 out of 100 to 56 out of 100. So we're getting there. Yeah. No big rush. I can't do anything for a little bit anyways when it comes to signal data and all that fun jazz. Yeah. Because Leia, and I am so close. I actually priced out the crystals to buy everything.
Oh, and
as I was
saying earlier, I love it when you get to that part of the grind. Can I afford to just skip this?
Right. And I'm like, but I was saying earlier that I'm like, what is the minimum that I have to have? And all I need is signal data. I have everything else. I'm ready. Oh, man. But so this week, R2 was R7. Now he is done R8. I mean, that was, the big one there. A lot of signal data, especially that third one. Backpack Chewie was R5 to R6 and just a couple. I mean, as soon as refreshes hit, I'm able to
go to 7.
7, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
And then that will leave Kanisa and Scout Trooper. Both of them are Relic 2. So, and like I said, I already have the scrap. That's all done. I got that to where enough that I need to do. So it's just signal data.
Yeah.
And that's not fun. I'm sorry. Mm-mm. It is not fun, especially when you're like, all right, I just rolled 2. Let me do 100 refresh for this and then roll 2. It's like, what is wrong with this?
I know. That blue signal data stuff.
Mm-hmm. But I'm getting there. I'm really close. I mean, to be only a couple away, I really am at that point because right now I'm doing the dark side gear for Leia right now as well, just so that way, get those done because I know I'm going to start doing those tickets here in a moment. So, excuse me. Then when it comes to ships, the BLT, really making progress. 72 out of 85 up to 84 out of 85. And then
That's
I refreshed
not bad for
it.
a ship. Yeah.
I refreshed it twice and got 0 both times. So I have decided that will never happen again. Ever. Raven's Claw, because it's the ship that works in fleets for me. 21 out of 65 up to 37 out of 85. That's not right. So we'll say 65. I don't think that's 85.
That's a really good week.
Man, talking about, I don't even think that's even, yeah.
Now I know what you spent your crystal vault on.
There you go.
Yeah.
Now, Zetas, I have 79. I actually went through and looked and saw that R2 didn't have his combat analysis, so I did that one. I'm saving them obviously for Leia, and then also too, I need to also do it for Drogon. So he doesn't have any right now. So I'm a little bit poor on that one. Omicrons, I looked, I'm like, what's my next one? I'm only at 8. Like, I am broke.
You always want to look and see like 16 or something. Like, right? We're just about there.
And you're not.
No.
So, and I got to give a update again on my mods. The Lobot, meaning Leia. So poor guy. I am working on him every single day and looking for speed and health mods. And I'm trying to get, obviously, these are my Leia mods because I want them ready to go as soon as she gets going. And so I'm doing all these refreshes with stuff and like changing. I've been getting some really good stuff. Switching over to, like a defense to speed. And he's up to 263 speed, but here just in a few weeks.
However, he's also Lobot.
It's Lobot, right?
Yeah. So.
But I'm getting some pretty good pulls. I just feel so bad for him. He's probably strutting around the place, thinking about, he's like, I'm going all the way up to gold. And and I'm going to tear it all away.
Yeah.
Poor guy.
You should throw him on a team on defense. Just no one's going to expect a Lobot to be that fast.
Right? I'm going to just, R3 Lobot.
What is it? Like Shorty, Lobot, and BB-8 or something? Like just something stupid. I don't know.
He has a ton of health. Because it's speed and health and speed primary or health primaries for, the main pieces. So it's like, he's a little bit beefy. 263 slow now for all these characters, really, but
yeah.
I might catch somebody off guard. So
a sneak Lobot.
I know.
I love it.
So as I was saying there, I'm grinding me some Lobot, and so I got to know as well who you're grinding.
This, I've done good things, but it's not the most exciting week to talk about. I know it's the most exciting part of the podcast for everyone, but the Bo-Katan stuff, I got IG-12 and Grogu from 63 up to 90 out of 100.
Oh, nice.
So that just snuck up on me. I was like, oh, I don't have like any signal data. I've been working on STAP instead, and I'm like, hey, let's pause that. So 90 out of 100, that's coming very soon. Keller and Beck went from 13 up to 40 out of 100. So honestly, like by the time I get IG-12 and Grogu sorted, it's going to be about time to take care of his relics too. I did just today finish my Jedi Knight Cal requirements.
Nice.
So Tarful went from 80 out of 100 to Gear 12. I still plan to take him to Relic 3 just because it's what I do. Leviathan, 10 out of 100. It's coming. It's coming. We'll see what I have to say next week. I don't know. I got kicked out of my house, but I got my Leviathan.
And it was worth it.
I know, right?
Right.
Little did she know I'd have a 7-star Leviathan. Miscellaneous things. I took Gar Saxon from Gear 12 up to Relic 3.
Nice.
It was before STAP was accelerated or was farmable, and I was like almost there. So I was like, I'll finish it up. Why not? STAP I took from 9 out of 30 up to 33 out of 65. So we're moving right along with that. And then all my Gungans, they're all gear 11. Phalanx, I think, needs one more Chirotech, and then he's like maxed for now. But as soon as, like, I'm not going to be a day one Jar Jar guy, but as soon as they're farmable, you know, I will get him when the masses start getting him, you know?
Yeah, me too.
I gave a Zeta to Boss Nass as well, his leadership Zeta. We're going to need him for Galactic Challenges, so I'm kind of like, invest in them to the degree that you can, because if it's the difference between getting tier 6 and not getting tier 6 on that one feat, then, you know, could be big. Omicron, I did Admiral Trench. And I feel like there's like a funk around that guy that people don't want to mess with him, but
I mean,
it's
he's
a really
spider,
good
so,
Omicron. It's territory war, so you're welcome, Black Sun Heroes. I am trying to focus. Like, by and large, I still 100% believe Grand Arena Omicrons are the best ROI. Like, that's important.
Mm-hmm.
However, like, what am I going to give Dash his? I mean, it's good, but is that going to be the game changer that someone's going to throw their phone because he's got Dash Rendar's like, that's where I'm at, is kind of evaluating those kind of Omicrons, and I'm kind of thinking my territory war Amis are very limited. I had Mara Jade, Phasma, Sonostaros, Grand Inquisitor.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe that's it. I don't know. So I'm fixing that.
Soka?
I do have hers too, but I don't really use it that much. I feel like it was great to take out a Darth Revan team, and then they gave us Darth Malak or Malgus, and like I don't know. I don't see as much opportunity for it now, but yeah. So I'm gonna focus on TW Amis for the next couple probably. But yeah, that's it. And then Datacrons, I re-rolled a Holdo and ended up with a Rey, which seems stupid. Do I pick Rey or Finn? I think Finn would make more sense because he's a different team. But I picked Rey because it's good. It's really good. But I can't use it on Holdo at the same time. I don't know. My brain just will not. That's all we got for you this week. May not be the best advice, but at least we didn't recommend you put 263 speed on your Lobot.
Yes.
If you want to continue the conversation, join our Discord server. It's linked in the show description. You can become a real live Jawa by supporting us on Patreon, and share your thoughts by leaving us a podcast review. Big thanks also go out to Pabu Appa and SWGOH.gg and SWGOHevents.com for providing all the hard data we misinterpret weekly. Thanks for tuning in, and may the Force and RNG be with you.